So, I'm going to repeat what I was doing in class. This is a problem which quite a few of you presented me with, or yourselves, should I say, in that you've drawn handles in which there are very few vertical or horizontal lines when I bring this through as a drawing. So I'll have that line, there we go, and that line there is the only vertical and horizontal dimensions. And I'm going to show you how to do this again, but I'm going to reiterate the size and position dictum, or the rule that you should always follow. And that, just to remind you, is that for whatever, especially in this case, for whatever planes that you have, like this, these two planes, it's where those two planes meet that provide the position dimension, and in some cases the size dimension. So let's go into a drawing and see how we do this. Okay, so make drawing from part. I'm going to select A1 just so that I've got lots of space for now. I can always change it later on. And I'm going to choose what's called the top view here, but it's actually the front view. Okay, it's just the way I drew it. It gives me the top view. I'm going to go to sorry, that's the front, that's the top view. I could give a right view, but because I'm going to do a section view, I'm going to leave that alone and instead get this isometric view going. Okay, and then I just want to get rid of my origins, and then we can start. Okay, so excuse me if this is a bit jaggedy. I'm not sure why tonight. So the first thing I'm going to do, and what I hope you will do too, is to right click on the drawing view and go to tangent edge and say tangent edge is removed. If you do that, then you can see very clearly what it is that you need to dimension in this view. All right, so we need to dimension this flat line, these angled lines, those two flat lines, and then whatever happens on the inside and that curve at the top. But we don't have a starting point. We don't have a way in which we can figure out yet. We don't yet have a way in which we can figure out what that line and that line do when they intersect. We don't have that, okay? So before I get to that, let's just put in the basics, the things that you should always put in, which is the center line. So center line, I've clicked on the command. Now you need to click very carefully because it is possible to select the wrong line. Make sure you select these two outside lines. You don't need to shift or anything. You just select them one after the other. Once you've got it in place, this center line is immovable as far as left and right. It remains a center line, which is brilliant. It means you can drag it out, do what you want. I'm going to leave it short for now because later on I'm going to put my center line, my sectioning line in there. Okay, so how do we go about this? Wait, first of all, we've got to put in the datums. So that would be an obvious datum, this bottom line here. Oops, I've chosen something which is not a datum. It seems to be doing the same thing. Datum feature. Let's just try this. So I'm going to select the line first and then go to datum feature. Yeah, that seems to work better. Okay, I'm going to drag the datum far out so that I've got lots of space. And then the center line will be my other datum. So just select that, drag the datum out. And then we need to put in something that marks this center line as a dividing line. So let's go to note. Or if you need to find notes on the shortcut bar, here it is here. And I'm going to go third. Under the second tab, there's under text format, there's an add symbol button. Select the center line button. If it gives you this irritating leader line, just go to the leaders and select the very first button, no leader, then you won't get that problem. I'm going to click and then click again somewhere else and click again and then click one more time. So that's 4 times that you click to get two of these. I want these to be a bit larger, so I can click the 2. I should be able to right click. Let's see. No, I can't. Okay, so I've got them clicked. I'm just going to go across to the note, the design tree, say click deselect, use document fonts, go to font, and let's make it 16, quite large, and then say okay. Okay, so these are quite large. All right, so here let's go back to this problem. So we need to get an intersection between that line and I'm going to hold the shift button down and that line there. So once I've got the two selected, I can let go of any buttons. Just go across to sketch and then click on the point, and you'll see it'll give me a virtual sharp. Okay, so virtual sharp is a way of ignoring the fillets. That's really what you want to do in this whole drawing. You want to say wherever I see a fillet, fillet is defined as something which joins one line with another using a radius of some sort. So wherever I see a fillet, I need to ignore it, and I need to go and put back the lines, the intersections that would usually occur if the fillet weren't there. So click shift, that didn't work. Let's go to control. I think control might deselect. No, it doesn't. Escape. Click. I think control will also work. Let's try control. Control will also work. So I'm not sure why I can't select here just the line. If you do have those sorts of problems, always go to this filter, and then you'll be able to select much more easily just the lines, and then go across to point. Okay, so I've got those two in. So really, essentially now I'm ready to put my first dimension in, because I've got a 0 dimension, which is the datum. That's what datum means. It's 0. It's the 0 point. So I just need one other position and size dimension. So this dimension I'm going to put in from that point to that point is both a position, because it's 140 divided by this line. So it's 70 to the left, 70 to the right. And it's a size, because it is 140. Okay, so that's what we left dealing with. So I'm going to put in a few more of these, and I might, in fact, I will, I think, cut this short. I'll put them all in and then just show you what to do. So I'm having trouble selecting it. I'm going to click on this filter edges thing and just there's that one. All right, so I'm going to do the rest and then come back and show you what I've done. Right, so I've got all of my virtual sharps in place. You might be facing problems depending on how you've drawn this. If you are, I'm going to show you a quick way to resolve them. So if you go to the left-hand side on your design tree, you'll see this drawing one is this one here. You can open the design tree. I think it's something I showed you right in the beginning. And then go down to the two features that would describe this shape. In this case, I know it's not the first one. I know it's the second one. And under the feature, you'll see the sketch. You can make the sketch visible. If you show the sketch, you can zoom in. I don't think, yeah, you can see it. So I hope, there we go, that line there. That is the sketch, and you can see the sketch varies a little bit in this case from this top line. That's going to become important. I'll show you in a second why. But what you can do here is, if you can't find these virtual sharps easily enough, then with the sketch showing, go across to your points and just put in the points where the sketch shows. So sorry, it's not showing at the moment. Let's just take this one out and show you what I mean. So the sketch for that piece here will be, if I go to the left-hand side, will be cut, extrude, sketch, show. There it is there. And so you can put in the points where on the sketch, right? And then you can go back once you've got that in, just to make sure that you are getting the virtual sharps in the right place. I'm going to hide the sketch first. I know that it's got to aim for that, so I can go to click, and do that, and there I've got it. You will need to delete these again afterwards, which is a little bit tricky, but so only put them in where you really are having a problem. So I've got all of these in place. I'm going to see if I can dimension as fast as I can what I need. So I'm going to need an angle for these two lines. I'm going to need an angle for those two lines, a dimension there, a radius, and then positions for all of these lines. So pretty much I can go from, I can assume that I'm going to need positions from the datum on all of these virtual sharps. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this line and go to, well, let's go to this first one here. And then I think you might be able to select again. I might be wrong. There is a way, in fact, of actually continually selecting. I'll have to figure it out. Once I've got it figured out, I'll tell you what it is. But in my case, I'm going to have to do it one by one. I'm going from smallest to largest. That's just to remind me where I'm going. And if they don't align nicely, it's not a problem. You can always go and align them afterwards. So let's say if I do that, it's not really a big issue. And also if your dimension line, for instance, if you select some other part, well, we don't have it here at the moment, but if you select some other part of your drawing, you can always move the dimension itself. So if I select that, I can actually move this around. I don't want to do this in this case, but I can move it to another point. And then the last one, I don't know if I'm going to get this right, because it'll say it's overdefined, but I do need an overall dimension, and I think I should be all right because I've got this point in here which marked the top. Okay, so there we go. I've got all of those. So those are the vertical dimensions. So I've just put them in as a shortcut. I know these are all position dimensions. I need them all. If I don't need one, I can always delete it afterwards. So that's probably the safest thing to do. Then I can put in an angle dimension. Here I want to go from, I want to go on the inside if it's not selecting it. Let's just do that again. Seems not to want to do that. Let's try that. Okay, I know why. Right, so it doesn't seem to want to behave. There is a way to fix this, but I can't remember what it is, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay, no, that's good enough. That's fine. I don't mind that. That does what it needs to do. And then at the top, instead of doing just one dimension, I'm going to do across both, because actually this is more accurate. So this is what you should be doing, like that. Okay, so we've got the two angles in place. Now I need to go from left to right, so across the center line. That center line, by the way, that is part of the sketch which I've shown. So that if I go back to the sketch and I just hide it again, you'll see that disappears. So let's do the ones across the center line. So I've got my dimension selected. I've got the first one. I'm going to need this outside dimension. Probably going to tell me it's overdefined. Let's see. No, it hasn't. And the reason for that is that I've actually selected the wrong line. So there we go. You can see this is actually, this dimension is pointing to the wrong thing. I am going to check that. So please try and be as thorough as you can. The more thorough you are, the better you'll do. 180. And I knew that was wrong because 180 is the dimension I created it at. So when it said 179, I knew I'd selected the wrong dimension or the wrong point. So that's one. I need this inside one as well. Put this down here. That would cover the position for the top bit as well. So I really just need these two. That's correct. Is it? Let's see if it's pointing. Yes. And then one more from there to there. Okay, so as far as position dimensions, that pretty much covers it. And what we need now is some radiuses. I think now, if I try and click on this, I'm not going to get a dimension. Will not select it. That's because I've got this at a very slight angle of 0.5. So this is not a true line. So here I am going to definitely go back to my sketch and show it, and then zoom in and select that sketch to dimension from. Seems not to be there. There we go. Let's just make sure it shows. There it is now. Okay, zoom out, and that's my 300. What will happen if I go to the bottom, it'll want to snap to the center point down here. So make sure that you are pointing from the top to get this leader line pointing in the right direction. The same thing is going to happen in the bottom. I There we go. The sketch is still present, so I can select it. Just go like this. All right, and then I need the fillets, so I can select one of them, and I think they're all the same. Okay, once again, I think the reason for this is that we don't have an actual fillet to dimension from because it's at an angle. So let's select the fillets elsewhere. This one should be correct. There we go. And I can just put in TYP. Make sure the caps lock is on. TYP. Okay, that means that all the fillets that I see are going to be radius 10, although I know that this one here is not 10, so I must put that one in. And I can't see it, so let's just make sure if I zoom in, I should be able to select the sketch instead. Seems not. All right, if you have this problem and you know what that dimension is, I know that that's a radius of 6, just put in a leader. So go to annotation, note, and then select this line as close as you can. And then go across to your leader. And here, it's not diameter, it's R, and that would be 6.00. So what am I saying? Would not have that. Okay, so that's good. And okay, you might have to double click in this and actually put the dialog in here. So that would be 2 places. 2 places. Got it. And then let's just drag this out. There we go. So it's in one line. All right, so that would tell me that fillet is in 1-2 places across the center line. I'm going to hide these sketches for now. Okay, so before I put in the section view, I've just noticed there's one other. No, I've got that dimension. So before I put in the section view, there is one other thing I need. I need for certain, just view this. I'm going to turn this around. So what I should have done in the beginning is just turned it around as a reminder that of the features that I need to dimension. So that's not going to do it at the moment because this is linked to that drawing. Remember, I have to create a separate one. But at least I know that there are 2 features in there that I haven't dimensioned, which are these two bosses, 2 circular bosses. So what I can do is go to the display style, go right to the bottom to the wireframe one. Seems to have selected the wrong view. Let's try it on this one. There we go. Okay, and here I should be able to put in center marks. Okay, center marks are under annotation, just above center line. I think this is not going to work. It is going to work. Okay, if yours doesn't work, if you can't select what's going on here, go up to the options button, go across to the search options and type in select. Let's take caps lock. Select hidden. HIDDEN. And then under system options, select hidden entities. No, it's not that one. Selection of hidden edges, sorry. It is system options, but it's selection of hidden edges. These 2 buttons here might be unticked. I can't remember what setting I had them on. If they're unticked, you won't be able to select. So make sure that they're ticked and then you can select. So with those 2 ticked, I can now put in center mark and I can select that one and that one. And then I can go back to this view and make sure that it is this 3rd one. Okay, so I've got those 2 center marks. I'm going to just dimension the horizontal. Remember to select the horizontal part of the center line. Okay, and then let's do this arrange all and just show you what might happen. So I'm going to select all my dimensions, right click. I'm going to get it mostly what I want, but I'm going to get at least one thing wrong. So auto arrange. You'll see that what happens is it puts the 2 radiuses right at the bottom here. So be careful now to not select these while everything else is selected, otherwise everything's going to mess up again. So deselect and then just drag these around back up to where you want them. There they are. Okay, and I think we're ready. Let's just drag that out. So you can see the auto arrange has actually arranged the dimensions very neatly with equal spacing. So this is neat and readable, and you get big marks for readability. So use the auto arrange feature and try and make your drawings as readable as possible, because that does get you marks. Right, so now I want to do the section view, and from what I can see, and I've played around with this, it still is the case that my way of doing this is better than going to section view and using this aligned view. This still seems to be much more difficult, but you do need to watch out for a few things using my method. Okay, so you might have problems putting in your center line. What I suggest you do is to select the center line command and then make this center line connect to features that you want. So that's a midpoint, should be a midpoint. So I'm going to go from the midpoint down, and then I just need to get this one here to line up with that center there. So there we go, it is lined up. So now I can use this as the basis for drawing my my continuous section line view. So I'm going to go from up like this. So this needs a little bit of care, because obviously in the beginning you've got to get it to line up, but from there down to there, down to there, you should be okay. Let's see. Section view, multiple contours. Okay, so it says that there are multiple contours that are existing. It might be that those underlying lines are causing the problem. Let us see if that will give us a section view. Beautiful. Okay, so look at this. I've got the section going from A down to A, which is exactly what I want. So here it must definitely be a make for shortened section view. And it's going to ask you for rib features. If there are none that you know of, just say, okay, you should still get a section view. And there we go. Brilliant. We've still got a section view. It's exactly what I want. That's the section view. I'm going to first of all make it twice full scale. So drag down on the left-hand side, or just scroll down. And then use custom scale, and here make sure it's 2 to 1, not 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is half. 1 divided by 2 is half. 2 divided by 1 is twice full scale. That's what I want, twice full scale. Okay, so in this one here, there are a few dimensions I can get out of it. They are that these edge fillets here, they are the center of this boss and its diameter and its root thickness, and that's about it. Oh yes, and the height. Okay, so the first thing I want is I want a center line here. I could actually put in a dimension from there to that line there, 14. It will not be incorrect. It's just this is much more useful, and so I want to see you do it like this, because this gives me a way to mark the center give me a position for the other dimension. So I'm going to select those two, go to annotation, center line. Oh, sorry, it won't. It sometimes allows you to select the views, the lines first. In this case, not the case. There we go. Okay, so there's my center line. I can drag this out, and now I can dimension the radius, or the diameter, sorry, at root, which is this one here. That's given me the diameter symbol. If that doesn't appear, then you should be able to come down on the left hand side here, select the diameter symbol, And then the other thing I need is I need a root thickness or root wall thickness. So remember, it's from that point to that point. 1.21 is 1.8 divided by or multiplied by 0.67. And I need to put a note in here. So I click, get this little dialog box, and I say at root in capitals. At root. Bingo. Oh, and the other thing I do need is I need to know how far away from the datum this rib starts. Remember, that's the datum. Oh, I haven't put that in, have I? Datum feature would obviously be this plane here. It's obvious because everything is, that would be the cutting, the split line between the two mold halves. So that's my third datum. And I need a height. So I need to go from there to there. That's 20. And let's just move that out the way. Rearrange these a little bit. So far, so good. I've got all the dimensions I need here, except for this one here. I don't have that width there, which I don't think I can put in here. Let's see. See, it's an angle. These are an angle because of the way it's drawn. So I should really create a section line which goes through there as well to show that width. I'll be okay if all you do is this. Give me that. And the reason I don't put in a position dimension here is because it's given to me there and there and there and there. So I've got 4 of them already. So that's fine. I think that's about it, other than cleaning things up and putting things back. So this one here should go back to being that view there. That's correct. This one here, you can reintroduce your, where is it? Tangent edge. So you can do tangent edge with font. Gotcha. And then, of course, please do fill in your title block. So issue 1, description, for assessment, title would be whatever it is, scale 2:1, not 1:1, drawn, your name, the date, and then in the notes section, you can put injection molded and a material, ABS or whatever it is. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.